Today I had the opportunity to test some of the features, improvements and new additions that came with the XOS 5.6 that was released yesterday to our Xpeng cars. So my name is Hugo, I am from Portugal and this is the Xpeng G6 diaries. So in this video I will show you what I was able to find, to test. Also, by the end of the video I will show you a couple of things that were not included on the release notes, but I was able to test because they were already on the beta versions and they are in fact included on this new release. So let's go and see what we have now on our cars. Starting with the top of the release notes is the ACC and LCC improvements. So in the release notes it said that the ACC will not slow down in the turns as it was doing before. Let's try it now together with you guys. So I will activate LCC and ACC at the same time. So activating now. The LCC, it was stating that it would also have an improvement on the lane centering. I didn't found any problem with that on my previous experience. So the car was indeed already in the center of the lane, but for now it seems improved, even though that I cannot tell you guys how much improvement was made on these topics. But I don't believe that 14% is I don't know if you noticed it now, but there was a slowdown on the LCC and ACC on this turn. So the car did slow down from 120 to 114, so it was my first slowdown since I started this trip. Trying to summarize here these first three blocks that I believe that are one of the most important topics on these release notes on this version. So I do believe that there are improvements, but I do believe that also there are still room to be improved even more, because even on the ACC, yes, it did less slowdowns, but it's still there. So there are still some slowdowns in some turns that are a little bit more tight, but possible to do at 120 or whatever speed that was in my tests. So there are still slowdowns. I believe that Xpeng can still improve that. On the LCC, even though that I didn't have any problem with staying on the lane and in the center of the lane, not going towards left or towards right, but I do believe that the system is stable on that. It does keep me in the center. I don't know if it is calibrating or not the cameras, because there is no message on that. So the system will do it every 30 days while you are driving. So as I didn't have the problem before, I cannot compare. But one thing that I noticed is the lane change. It seems to be a little bit faster, but still slow for my personal preference. The car does it very well, so it does the automatic lane change, but it does it very slow. So I do believe that there is room for improvements, but I do see some improvements already from the last version, especially on ACC and on this automatic lane change. There were many improvements and changes on the map system. There are, I see here, some options, new options for traffic and traffic incident coming from TomTom product enhancement program. Okay, as you can see here, there is this new icon with lights, and this will show, if you see here in the map, these green bars along the road, it's basically indication of the traffic. So these are the traffic information. If you turn on, it will show the green or yellow or a red information depending on the traffic. So this is a new improvement on the map system. Let me calculate here. So I am in the middle of my trip back home. Let's calculate here. It's generating a route, and let's do this first route where we are, and let's calculate here with a charging station in the middle. So it's giving me this, and I will do a start, and then we have new information here that was different than the old navigation map, and as you can see, it says that I will arrive at the to the arrival charging point 1. So now it is clear. Remember that on my video that I talked about the navigation, that I didn't understood what the information that was stated there was referring to. Now it is clear. So they wrote there that it's the amount of so the range left on the battery for the charging station where we are going to stop. So it says that I will arrive there with 112. Let me just check here something. So I am currently with 257 kilometers of range in the car, and is saying that I will leave at 144. So I would be arriving with 112 more or less. Yeah, so it's correct. So it's making the math. The only thing that I don't think it's correct is the percentage. So one of the improvements that they say that they are bringing to the car is the state of charge. I don't think that this is correct. So it's stating 20% of state of charge when I arrived at the charging station. My math don't add up to that number, so I don't believe that we will reach with 20%. I think we will reach with a little bit more than that. So guys, just a quick update. See here, as I mentioned, I was not believing on this number, but as you see, it now says 106 kilometers when reaching this charging point 1, and basically this means that it's even less than before. But now the SOC, the state of charge, is 31. So instead of 19 that was before, if I'm not mistaken, and now it says 31. Another thing that it's changed, I just arrived, and as I have only 13% of battery, the map is showing already some information of power stations next to me, so that I can just fast travel to them. So this is also an addition that I didn't had before. Another change in the map is these icons. So if you saw my video on the navigation platform, you saw that I mentioned that we had a couple of categories where we could just a quick search for things as power stations, also parking lots, and there are a bunch of things. But now we have more here: stations, train stations. Also we have also hotels here. I'm not letting it search. Tourist attractions. So I'm just showing you the categories. So tourists, then we have markets, we have also ATMs, so information for withdrawing money, and here we have pharmacies also. Let's see if the information is coming. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, so pharmacies, and then we have also toilets. So if you are searching for a toilet, you can also find here some fast travel. So before we only had one icon here, and now we have two for home and office. And then they also said that they improved here the search. Let's try to search for something. Let's try Mac. Okay, yeah, it's faster. Okay, before when we were typing, it was expecting us to do the search so that it started looking for stuff, and in fact it was very fast to give that information. Let's try something else. So for instance, Merca. Okay, so it gives some points, it gives some streets, it's faster to search. And then we can just go in, it will give more information here. Okay, the distance, the time of the range on arrival, etc. We can mark as favorite, we can search around that place, so search near the place where we did the first search. So okay, it gives already plenty of information. We can even call. Let's try to resume now the navigation part. And as you noticed, there were many new improvements and changes on the navigation app. And despite that most of them or many of them are related to languages and also to cosmetic and appearance, there are some that do bring some differences on the usage of the system. One of them is the state of charge, and as you saw in the video, there is now this new information. So before we only had the charging, the range, and now we have the state of charge. And as you saw in the video, when I start using it, there was a difference on the values, but that is mainly because the system is calculating based on how you are driving. Then the system is calculating the amount of the state of charge. I do believe that it could be faster, because if it is calculating the range, it could be calculating also the state of charge at the same time, so that we don't have two different values that led to what happened in the video, that I was looking at the information and I was not believing on the information that I was seeing. But then after a couple of kilometers more, then the numbers did match, and they were coherent until the end of the ride. Then we have the recommended session for the offline maps. So I don't see any reason to go into this, because it's just a recommendation of the maps that you should download as offline. I do, and go check my video on the navigation, because it's very important to use the offline maps. Okay. Then we have the higher associative word search capabilities for navigation, and in fact we did try that. So in the last minutes of this section, you saw that when we were typing, it was already identifying not only places, so points of interest, but also roads and streets, as usually it works on other app systems. But in the previous version, it was more slow to do this. Now it is going to show already while you are typing and adjusting while you are typing. So it's faster and it's better. It's an improvement. Map view and guidance strategy. Routes and directions are shown more precisely. So I didn't have any problem with this. So I do believe that the system itself in terms of navigation is very good. I already mentioned that on my video. So there are some colors that are different. One thing that I noticed that I was not able to catch on the recording is that the system sometimes will give you a message that it found a route that is faster, and if we want to change to that route. So this is something that I was used with Waze and even Google Maps. This system, at least the first month of usage, it never gave me this option, never. So if you set up a route, it will go with that route forever. But now, in fact, it happened many times, showing that there was another possibility that would shorten the time of travel. So, in fact, I do believe that there were some improvements on the navigation. There are still some bugs that were not corrected. So, if you go to my video on the navigation, and it is exactly the same. So, if you have, if you try to plan a trip, and you have three options, if you select the option in the middle or the second or the third, for instance, and then you ask for charging stations in the route, it will revert back to the first option. So it never calculates the second or third option with charging points. If the navigation itself was already good, I think it got better. It has more information, it's more reliable, and it gives so the doubts that I had before on the informations that were provided while we were driving, now they are very clear and simple to understand. So before ending this video and showing you the two things that I found that were included on this release but not on the release notes, so I did not mention these on the previous video. Let me just give you a brief overview on the things that I am not including on this video, because I do believe that they are not related to driving. Language update, so now we have Indonesian. Now there is one thing that it's more media options. So now we have an app that can be used to play video and music files directly from the USB of the car. You had a bunch of applications, multimedia applications, then you had also Bluetooth Bluetooth. So using your mobile or any other Bluetooth device connected to the car, you could play music. But now you can also plug in, for instance, a disk drive with MP3s, for instance, and play your music over there. Then there are improvements or new things like vehicle maintenance reminder, guest mode. Then there is X combos. These will I will do a full video on X combos because I do believe that this is a feature that is relevant to have a full video. Mainly because with X combos you can create automation with your car and do several things with your car based on triggers, actions, conditions, etc. So I do believe that this is a very nice feature, and I will do a full video on X combos. Then we have also Bluetooth calls, so improvement of the quality of the call, also improvement on the CarPlay. I'm Android user, so I don't have this topic. Mobile to vehicle connection, so basically now we can set up for the AC, you have schedules and appointments that you can customize from Monday to Sunday for the AC settings. Also there are more settings that are stored with your account information. So basically until now you had driving modes and a bunch of other settings. You can see also my video for the accounts, but now there are more settings that will be stored with your account information, like sounds and car control and display. They will be stored with your account. Then there is a huge section of new things and improvements that are related to charging networks. So basically, Xpeng says that are 850,000 chargers that can apply to stop starts. Basically, this is a plug and charge topic. So I was not aware of this, but there is a network of charging stations similar to what Tesla has for the Tesla superchargers that you can arrive with your Xpeng and just connect your car to those chargers, and it's like plug and charge, so you don't need to have a card or something like that. It's available on 18 countries in Europe, but not in Portugal, so I cannot test this. Also on the Xpeng apps, it supports a bunch of charging information, also available in 24 countries in Europe, but not in Portugal. Probably because Portugal has a charging network that it's a complicated one. I will do one day a video on that. Then there is more information on the charging info, so information on costs and stuff like that. So I do believe that in Portugal we don't have that also, but I will check that. And that's it. So basically on the release notes we have covered everything. So some things on the video with me showing you what the car is doing now, and some just by me talking. And now let's go to the two things that are still remaining to be mentioned here that again were not included on the release notes, so I didn't mention them in the previous video about this upgrade, but they were in fact included and they were part of the beta testing, but they were not mentioned then before. So let's go and see them. So if you see here, I am currently running on the highway at 117 and the speed limit is 120. Remember that before, when we went over the speed limit, that icon and also on the dashboard, it would start blinking. Now you will see how it handles. So I will go through 120 and as you can see, it only turns red. So the blinking sign stopped. This was a very good improvement because it was really a pain in the ass to have it always flashing, especially in the dashboard in front of you every time that you go through the speed limit. So now it only turns red, as you could see here. Another change in the new version is the lane change rear camera is now able to be shown on the dashboard instead of the main screen as it was before. So in order to change from the touch screen, so the central screen, to the dashboard, you just need to go to the settings of the car, to intelligent imaging, and you have here the activate side rear image while turning, and you can then say where you want the images to be shown at. So now I have changed to dashboard. So until now we didn't have this option. It was always on the touch screen, on the central display, but now you can put it over here, and I do believe, it's my personal opinion, that it's much better for the use, because then it will not interfere with navigation, it will not interfere with multimedia, etc. So let's go here to the dashboard, and I will show you how it is going to be appear. So I will change now lane to the left, and as you can see, it shows on the left side of the dashboard, okay, the image, and now to the right you will see that it shows on the right side of the lane, on the right side of the dashboard, the right lane, to help you then make these turns. Hi guys, so this is the end of this video. So I think that this one, together with the first one, will give you a better understanding of the improvements and new additions that were introduced in our cars with the XOS 5.6. And if you like this content, if you like the things that I make here, just subscribe, just leave a like. Leave a comment if you find something else that it's new on our car. Just leave a comment so that we can all as a community try new things, and we see you in the next one. Bye bye.